Happy Halloween, it's Marilyn, and for this video I decided for this year to be the Monster High version of Greta from the Gremlins. Everything is pretty much thrifted, and this wig, she's a doll. It's okay if this is a little shiny. A lot of the beautiful artists that I follow are doll collectors, and I was just obsessed with this character's little accessories. I only worked on this costume for like maybe 2 days, but I shopped for it in advance, so I have all the little pieces. But like this jacket, I feel like I could update it and find something more similar eventually. The purse needs like a little red border, so, and I might have some nails coming soon, so this is not the last you will see of her. But I am really in love with the makeup. I went out to eat and go to like a little trail trick-or-treat thing, and my makeup is still intact, so this is her look, definitely. So if you'd like to learn how to create this makeup, please stay tuned and make sure that you're following me on here. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can also follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Marilynmugbeat. I have an entire Halloween playlist that I'll link somewhere, and let's get started with this makeup. I got super lucky and didn't have to drive all the way to a dancer supply store because I found these at the dollar store. Granted, they are a little like pricey, but honestly these have been going up. And I also found some acrylic paint at the dollar store. I'm going to dilute it with water and dye these. This one like a deeper green, probably more true to this one. And then I picked up the yellow to make this one a little bit more scaly and mix with the green. So let's get started. So this is why I filled it up like not even halfway, because I actually dropped like a cap full of this in here. And in order to dilute the black, I don't want it to be this dark. I still want them to be pretty green, so I really have to go in and dilute this. But before I do, I'm just gonna add a whole bunch of green. You have to keep in mind that this is paint, so I can't just pour it down the drain. In order to get rid of this, you would have to dispose of your paint properly. I filled it up a little more, and I'm just gonna test like the higher edges of it on the hip to see if it'll even take. I think I'm gonna need more green, but I'm honestly not sure if these would even fit me. I might have to end up just painting these over with makeup, but I do have these like super crusty white ones. This would definitely take to the dye more. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep on adding more green. So I actually looked back at the reference photo, and I think these white ones are gonna be perfect. I just had to put the color in my hands and wring it out of the tights. And this is the exact shade of her legs. I think I'm just gonna end up doing the same thing for the fishnets as well. They don't have any difference of color. It's mostly just for the texture of the scales. So yeah, these were a fail. For some reason, these fishnets took a lot better to the water, so I didn't have to scrub them or anything. I think I'm just gonna let these sit a little longer in the water while I work on some other things. I really thought I was gonna have to like somehow get a pump and add leaves to it or something to give it like a texture. And as soon as I saw these, I was like, oh, that is totally gremlin skin, and it seems like some kind of like crocodile or like fake alligator skin. These are Calvin Klein shoes I thrifted. They look to be pretty new, and although they were pretty pricey, I like took into account I might have to like just get paint for these and just be done, instead of getting plain pumps and having to get the little leaves or scales or whatever. So once I dye these green, I should be done. And this is a little bright for what I want, so I'm gonna be just mixing it with black. For the dress, it does seem to be a cheetah print one with a sweetheart neckline, and I found this. This one has like a nude underlay, and the cheetah part is actually like a lace. I just need to dye this under part purple or kind of like a grayish color. This is what I got to dye them with. And with the 2 layers, I feel like it'll shred really awesome. It has sort of like an asymmetrical, just shredded look at the bottom. So I'm gonna put this on and cut it up. I really do love this character, so I feel like I would rewear this costume again to like a horror convention or something. So I do plan on improving my fitting of it. It's kind of ill-fitting. I don't like the way that like the bodice is so high, so eventually I will make alterations to it further. But for now, I'm just chopping off the bottom. It was easier for me to map out what I want it to look like here first with it on, and then I just did the rest off camera. I really thought I was going to need those little in-between pieces, but it didn't at all, and now it's time to dye. Make sure to wear gloves because I still have not learned my lesson, but you can see the difference here that the dyeing does make on this dress. It could have come out better, I think, if I used actual boiling water, but I just used the hottest water I could get out of the bathtub. These are little paper flowers that I found from the dollar store that I'm going to stick onto the shoe, and I'm just taking the cardboard from my wig cap as my palette for my paint mixing. So here is my watered down black. I'm just adding a few dots and making sure to mix it well. I am not the best painter, and since this is a custom color, I feel like one of my shoes came out darker than the other, so it's not very consistent the way I'm doing it. Honestly, I'm just having fun here, and I think the paint washed off in the grass when I was taking photos, so there are probably better ways to go about this. Don't take this from me, honestly, but here I go. I just hot glued the little flower onto the side, and this paint is not meant for shoes. They came out super matte, so at least they dried fast. They looked cute in the photos, and this is my favorite piece. Honestly, I was so surprised I found this purse that matched exactly what I needed. I didn't have time to paint the border, but I just printed off this photo and like hot glued it onto the purse. It worked out. For the ears, I actually had these elf ears that I wasn't using, and my sister left these from when she visited me, so these are her big ol' hoop earrings. And the wig, I just put a whole bunch of dry shampoo in it and stuck one of those flowers onto it as well. The ears are stuck in with just some bobby pins. And this wig was from Spirit Halloween. I didn't brush it out or anything, left it really doll-like with the curls. As prep for the wig, I pinned up my hair and moisturized my skin up really good for all of this face paint. I'm using a green color corrector and adding some yellow in from the color wheel, as well as some highlight under the eyes with the Danessa Myricks Vision Cream Cover Paint. To blend all of that out, I'm using the Tapatio Little Limon Sponge from Hit Dot. I was looking at this doll's highlight, and it goes really like strangely high and like tightly across the top of the face. Around the mouth, I'm adding really heavily just a whole bunch of yellow and blending it out with whatever's left over of the green. To set the face, I'll be using these two powders, and to bring back some color, I'm using my favorite Sugar Pill eyeshadows as well. This is the step that is going to make your makeup last as long as possible, so I'm going in really thoroughly and bringing back some color with the gorgeous green in the Lily Munster palette. This is my favorite green eyeshadow, and I just diluted it a little bit with that white powder as well. When I was looking at Greta's Glam, it reminded me of this palette and it fits so perfectly, but before we move on to that, I need to put on the little dot eyebrows. I made these using some face paint. This one is by Diamond Effects, and I kind of started off with the two dots to map out exactly where they need to be symmetrical to make it easier on myself to match it up on both sides. I'm highlighting the under eye using the shade 0, and it kind of pulls together that highlighted under eye look. And now with the shade Handbook, I'm packing it onto the lid with my finger. The main transition shade is this gorgeous periwinkle, and I just added a little bit more of that under eye highlight onto the high points of my face. Next, with the shade Dairy, I'm creating that super cut, like high cut crease that pretty much every doll that I ever grew up with had, as well as a really spiky, thick black eyeliner. I've seen a lot of cool gremlin makeup, like the super special effects stuff, but as soon as I saw this doll's glam, I knew I had to become her. And to help in creating my little doll eyes, I'm using the Apple Doll Tarantula Mascara, and for a doll-like effect, I'm adding it also to the ends of my bottom lashes. These top eyelashes I made out of some 25mm ones from the beauty supply store, and some little paper pieces to make them super spiky. And to add some more spikiness, I'm pointing out the inner corner and creating like a faux tear duct under the eye and drawing on some eyelashes. This is how the doll's eyes looked, and this lip combination is pretty intense, so let me break it down for you. So first, I'm overlining the top of my lips and extending out the corners before I go ahead and connect everything together. For the brightness of that red, I'm filling in with a liquid lipstick, and then I'm hitting the high points also with the liquid lipstick, but this one has sort of like a glossy finish. I'm obsessed. The lips look so luscious, and of course I cannot forget her beauty mark and these cute little fangs that I also drew on with face paint. And this is my completed Greta Gremlin Monster High edition. Thank you so much for watching my Monster High Greta doll recreation. If you like this video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below and subscribe to my channel as well for a closer look of this and all of my other looks as well. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Marilynmugbeat. I'll see you next time. Bye.